Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first realized store stage, all the way to did I just hit a million orders stage, Shopify is there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/manifest, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/manifest now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/manifest. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Manifest with Tori DeSimone. I'm your host, Tori DeSimone. Happy Manifest Monday, guys. I am so excited for today's episode of Manifest Monday because this episode is the first in a new series that I'm beginning on the show called Intrusive Thoughts. And this is essentially a guest podcast series installment of the show. Not all of my episodes are going to be with guests now, but some of them will be. And this new series, Intrusive Thoughts, is asking the questions that we really want to know about our favorite influencers, small business owners, or anyone that we just take an interest in because, let's be real, the internet is for the nosy people, the people that want to be the fly on the wall in other people's lives. And I think that's what originally drew us to the internet, to vloggers, whatever it might be. We just liked being a part of people's lives. And me personally, as a consumer of a lot of internet things, I always was just really drawn to what do people's day-to-day lives look like? And I have wanted to know, I'm just nosy. I just want to know things about people's lives. And that's what really sparked this new series was, okay, I want to ask the questions that either they're not answering, or if they're a podcast host themselves, they always have guests on. So I don't know much about the host, things like that. So that's where this series came from. And today's guest, I am so excited for. Her name is Holland Scattergood. And if you don't know her, prepare to love her. She is an incredible human being. We just got off of our phone call / interview with one another. And I seriously could have talked to her for hours and hours and hours. She's such an incredible person. I will read her bio in just a minute for you guys so you know who she is when the episode or the interview, I guess, begins. But essentially, Holland is a spin instructor turned studio owner to a new studio in Phoenix, Arizona called NYX Cycle Fitness. She is one of 3 co-founders / co-owners of that studio, and she just has a heart of gold. And truly, the initiative behind why she wanted to start a studio is so incredible. She's so authentic. She's everything that I love to see in the spin world and then some. And she's such a girly girl. She's so fun. She's so down to earth. She's so cool. And I know a lot of you guys always have spin questions, and I typically don't talk about that a lot. I don't really talk about how to become a spin instructor or how to open your own spin studios or things like that. And it's a huge part of my life, but it's just something that I don't talk about a ton because sometimes I don't always think that it will resonate with a lot of you guys. But I'm hoping that having 2 people on that can really speak on that together will be of interest to a lot of you guys. And even if you don't spin, you're not at all involved in the spin world, and you're just listening to this episode because you like listening to Manifest with Tori DeSimone, number 1, thank you. And number 2, I hope you find immense value and inspiration to go after anything that it is that you want to do in your life. Holland speaks a lot about manifestation, journaling, affirmations, just she speaks our language, guys. She's one of us. And it was just such a joy to work with Holland and to meet her and chat with her. And I'm really excited to bring her on as the first guest in the series. I have some really awesome guests lined up, and I am so excited to bring them on to the show. And I couldn't be more excited. So let me introduce Holland officially so you guys know a little bit about who she is and what she's all about. Holland began as a spin instructor in 2020. She started taking spin classes from college and fell in love. She became determined to become an instructor no matter what it took. Her goal in every class was to give everyone a safe space to be themselves and celebrate movement within their bodies. She believes that fitness shouldn't be scary or intimidating, and that group fitness is truly for everyone. She hopes everyone who steps into her class finds an empowering space to level up and have fun while doing it. Wellness is different for everyone. We are all so different, and perfection isn't attainable, but fighting to become the best version of yourself daily is. Holland loves playing all types of music in her spin classes, so expect to hear lots of female artists and uplifting power anthems. She believes in being her best authentic self inside and out of the room and hopes that others will see the beauty in being authentically themselves too. Holland graduated from the University of Arizona in 2019 with a degree in journalism and communications. She battled autoimmune health problems her entire young adulthood and has seen the benefits of nutrition and movement in her own life. This inspired her to become a certified holistic health coach, and she graduated from Dr. Sears Wellness Institute in 2020. She is currently a cycling instructor and a coach at Rumble Boxing in Gilbert, Arizona. So, guys, without further ado, I would love to introduce the very first host of Intrusive Thoughts on Manifest with Tori and Holland. Please welcome Holland Scattergood. Welcome, Holland.
Hi, thank you. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to have you. Okay, I want to dive right in because we have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
And I just want to get right to it. So tell me from the very beginning, how did your spin journey begin?
Okay, yeah. So I started spinning in college, and before that, I had been very intimidated by group fitness. Like, I was not into working out. I thought I just didn't belong in that space. I just dealt with a lot of body image issues, and so I just didn't want to go to group fitness classes. I just felt like I didn't belong. One of my friends took me to a spin class in college, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I feel so free. This is so much fun. It's like dancing, it's like movement. It's not just like working out to burn calories. So I got super into it. And the second I left the class, I was like, wait, why do I want to teach spin? Like, I hate fitness. This is not me at all, but why do I want to do this? And so a little bit after college, my husband and I moved, and we moved to Phoenix, which is where I am now. And I started going to a studio called the Madison, and that's where I met my two current business partners. But long story short, I started taking classes there. I wanted to teach there. And I started at a smaller studio because I needed to get some experience. And then about 6 months after, I started working at that smaller studio, I went and auditioned at the Madison, which was the bigger studio that I wanted to be at. Got the job, and that's where my, spin journey really took off.
I love that. I feel like for
Yeah.
people, when they take their first spin class, it goes like one of, I'll say three ways. The first is like, I can't believe I did that. I'm never doing it again. And then they never come back. The second is, I can't believe I did that. I don't know if I liked it, but like I'm going to come back. And then
Yeah.
the third is, I can't believe I did that. I'm utterly obsessed. And I loved that yours was the third.
Yeah. It was so bizarre because I just was not into that stuff. Like, the fact
Right.
that there was even one tiny thought in my head was so weird. I was like, what? What is this?
So you didn't work out at all really before spin.
I think I had a really bad relationship with exercise. In high school, I had been a cheerleader. That was my favorite form of movement. I got into college. I would kind of like force myself to go to the gym. Um, but I was very up and down with it. Like, I would be really good for like a month, and then I would fall off, and then I'd be really good. And it was just kind of toxic. So
Yeah.
when I found spin, I was like, wow, I actually enjoy this. This is fun for me. This isn't just about like going and burning calories. This is like good for me mentally. I feel strong. I feel powerful. I feel empowered when I'm doing this. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all the things that people say, like when you find the workout that is for you, like you're going to feel mentally, you're going to want to do it physically, you're going to want to, get stronger at it, better at it. So I love that. It clicked for you.
Yeah, it did.
So what were the steps that you took to becoming a spin instructor? A lot of listeners of the show want to become spin instructors. So what can they do? What did you do?
Yeah. So my first thing when I was going to the Madison, I was really integrating myself into that community. Like, I was showing up in classes, I was making friends in the classes. And at the point before I started working at the smaller studio, I actually did try out at the Madison because I had an open audition. So I tried out, I applied, I got denied because I had no experience. And so instead of like letting that get me down and stop me and making me feel insecure, I was like, you know what? I'm going to work even harder. I'm going to go get a job somewhere else, show the Madison that I'm very committed to doing this because I care about it. And so I went to that smaller studio. I got the job like right away. I went in, they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're an amazing writer. You're so energetic. Like, we're giving you this job." And the manager at the Madison noticed that I went and got a job somewhere else. So when I came back 6 months later, he was like, "Oh, you're hired. Like, you're good. You showed dedication. You're in the community. People know you." So I would say making friends, showing up to classes, showing initiative. Like, even if you don't get the job at the first studio you apply at that you want to be at, go somewhere else. Get some experience. Like, don't stop fighting if it's something you're really passionate about. And if you are really passionate, you'll know and you'll want to keep, fighting to get to where you want to be.
100%. I love that. I love that. Like, just because it's a no doesn't mean it's a no indefinitely. It just might
Yes.
be right then. And who you would have been as an instructor 6 months prior to when you were hired by the Madison is probably not who you wanted to be when you began instructing at the Madison. Like, it's part of the journey and it had to happen the way it unfolded.
Exactly, because I just got so much experience from that smaller studio that I wouldn't have had if I had just jumped up onto the bigger podium with more bikes and more people there. Like, I probably wouldn't be the instructor I am today if I hadn't
Right.
had that experience. So,
Right. So what
yeah.
did your training look like? Did you train yourself or did I'm going to use the Madison, I guess, as a reference? Like, did they have a training protocol that you went through or how did that look like?
Yeah, so at the smaller studio I was at, they had a training program. It was a lot different. It was like BPM based, very strict. And so that's how I learned. But then at the Madison, it was more like free flowing. So I went through two training programs, that first one. And then at the Madison, they had I think it was a 2-month training program where we would meet up on the weekends and train. And then you would go out into the community and like teach with instructors, like duo with them. Um, and you would have a few times a week where you would meet up with an instructor and they would like go over feedback with you and watch you teach a couple songs. And so it was a couple months of just being out teaching with people and learning new things.
And how do you think you developed a lot of the confidence to then teach classes? Was it because you were at the smaller studio first, or do you have any tips for building confidence in a room?
Yeah, I think being at that smaller studio helped me a lot. It helped
Hmm.
me find my voice, helped me find my music taste. And then I think what helped me build the most confidence was learning that the most important thing was to stay true to myself. There were a lot of instructors I looked up to and I wanted to be like. But when I started playing music that I truly loved and cared about, and when I started saying things that were like authentic to me and that meant a lot to me, or talking about things on the podium that inspired my journey to get to where I was. I just felt so much more confident. So I think staying true to myself and learning that that's more important than trying to be like another instructor is really, really important and what developed my confidence
Oh my God, totally. And I think we see it a lot now, like, especially when did you start spinning? Was it pre COVID or post COVID?
pre COVID.
Okay, so do you feel like there's a huge difference in the spin world pre versus post?
Yes.
Okay, the way that I see it is like pre-COVID, what happened inside the spin room was very like sacred. Like there weren't videos really shared. It was very like private almost. Like you had to
Yeah.
just be there to know what was going on.
Hmm.
And I feel like now post COVID, so many videos are shared. Like we all know what goes on in every studio, like around the world, pretty much, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I think for new instructors, it's easier for them to look at really popular instructors in the spin world and say, okay, I'm going to emulate that. I'm going to try to be that. But to your point, when you live in your authentic voice and you play music that you like and you create a vibe that is real for you, that's how you create a following. And like, that's how you build your voice and your confidence in your room. If someone wanted to take a Holland class and I'm trying to be you, like, why would they take the knockoff you? They would just go right to you and take your class, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think we fall into that so much where we all have to be like copies of each other, especially just in the spin world. We all have to be like this one way. And that's how I started. Like that's what I thought. And when I started just, leaning into me and what vibes with me and the music that vibes with me and the, choreography that vibes with me, that's when I built a following and built my confidence because I was like, you know what? I'm telling these people to show up and be the best versions of themselves. Why am I not doing that? So
100%.
I think I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah,
'Cause
and you know what? I think a lot of new instructors do. I think a lot of and maybe I'm just speaking from personal experience with some of my girls that I've brought on at Stride over the past few years, but I think when people come into a studio that does well, they assume that their classes will also do well. But like even when I started teaching spin in 2017, I had a following at the time online, and my favorite time slot, it's like not a secret. I love Monday 5 p.m. It's like my girls, like that's my time. Like I'm obsessed with that time. When I first started, I was working for another studio at the time, and I had to beg the owner. I was like, please give me a chance. Like Monday 5, like I know it's a new time slot. Let me try it out, you know? She was like, okay, fine, but you have to build it. You have to whatever. And I was like, okay, I will. My very first Monday 5, 3 people in it. My second Monday 5, 2 people in it. My third Monday 5, 3 people in it. And then
Yeah,
over time, week by week, it just builds and builds and builds. The more you find your voice and the more you find your confidence. And having a following doesn't guarantee a full class. Going into
no,
a popular studio doesn't guarantee a full class. It's up
no.
to the instructors to build their community within their room.
Yeah. I think people are looking for authenticity, like, so like, people are searching for that. People that come to class, they're like, "Is this someone I can relate to? Is this someone that I can, like, build trust with?" And if you're just there, copy and pasting someone else and showing up and trying to teach the class and be someone else, people are like, "What is this?" You have to
Yeah.
build, you have to keep showing up even when it sucks and there's 3 people, like, that's gonna build you the most, for
Yeah.
sure.
It builds character, man, to teach to 3 people, or how many people fit in your studio?
40.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Three
Yeah,
people
it's
or 40
crazy.
people, the energy's, oh, it's got to be the same.
Yeah, for
It's got
sure.
to be the same.
And it's hard. It's way harder
Yeah.
to teach to 3 people than it is to 40.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, it is. But also, have you ever taught to a class, like a full room and everyone's dead? It's like, hello, like this is
Yeah.
like I want to die.
Mhm. You're like, "Anyone
Is
home?
anyone
Okay." Yeah.
there?
Yeah. Rough.
Yeah, it is rough. So how long were you instructing before you knew that you wanted to own?
What's crazy is this kinda leads into, like, journaling and manifesting and part of my morning routine, but
Mhm.
as soon as I started teaching at the Madison, I would write down every day in a journal all the things I wanted. And I wouldn't say I want, I would write like I will.
I love
Um,
that.
and like very early on in teaching, I was writing down in a journal, I will own a studio someday. Like I will waitlist all of my classes. I
Mhm.
will, I will grow, I will build a community. And so I was writing down I will own a studio very early on in my journey. Don't know why. I just like felt that calling. I knew that this was supposed to be my career because it was just something that I cared about so instantly and had a passion about so instantly. So I was like, just, I don't know. I just knew that I was going to, and I would write that down every day. I didn't really know when it would happen, but I was saying, I will own this studio very early on.
I love
Crazy.
that. I love
Mhm.
that. You
So
have
crazy.
there's NYX has 3 co-owners. It's you, Kristen, and Damar, right?
Yes.
Does he go by Damar or DJ?
We call him DJ, like,
Okay.
close friends call him DJ. He goes by DeMar too, either
Okay. I
one.
just see on Instagram Damar, so I was like, safe to say Damar. Okay.
Yes.
So how did he get into the mix?
So, originally, like I said, it was Kristen and I talking about it, and we were like, "What would be the most powerhouse team that we could get together?" And we were like, "Obviously, DeMar. He has a huge following, not only on social media, but just in the spin world, like, Everyone loves him. He's so sweet. He's so kind. He's such a genuine person. And we were like, we can't do this without him. Like, we need him on the team with us. He brings so much. He was a manager at the Madison for a really long time. He's been in the fitness world for 10 plus years. And we were like, we got to bring him on. So we told him pretty much right away. And we were like, will you please join in with us and help us open this? And he was like, oh, yep, no questions asked. Like, I'm in.
I love it.
And yeah, so we were all coworkers, and DeMar actually hired me at the Madison. He was the hiring
Wow.
manager that
Oh, how
hired me.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
really
it was cool.
special.
Yeah.
How's it been with 3 co-owners? Do you guys all have like separate roles that you delegate out towards, or have you been learning as you go? Like, okay, Kristen's really good at this, so she can specialize at this. You are really good at this, so you'll do this. Damar's really good at this, so he'll do that. Like, do you guys have specific roles that you each play, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I currently am the marketing and creative director. So I do all things like social media, merch, marketing. That's my niche, and that's just something I love. And so that was naturally, I feel like, my role. And they agreed. They were like, you have to do this. And I was like, okay, great. That's where I want to be. Kristen manages our front desk staff and kind of manages and runs the whole studio. So she came up with the whole program for the front desk staff and how we run and how we operate and everything like that. So she's really good at that. She's been in the spin world for a long time too. So she's just knows all the operations. And DJ is our instructor manager. So he manages all things like the spin room, the bikes, our instructors, our training program, and in the future, probably hiring new instructors.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
your opening staff, like your instructors and your front desk, were you all 3 of you involved in the hiring process? Like, how did that look?
Yeah, we all three were at all of the interviews for all of the front desk staff. We ended up hiring 3 front desk people just to start because, we're just getting everything together.
Yeah.
We wanted to save some money, so we were, only hiring 3 to start, but we were able to all 3 get together with all of the people that interviewed and sit down and chat with them. We really wanted to hire people that were, friendly to begin with. Like, even if they had no experience in spin or working at the front desk of a spin studio, we really wanted to emphasize like people who are friendly, people who are nice, people who are welcoming that we could tell that would, fit right in.
100%. Like the front desk typically are the first people that clients see. They
Mhm.
are the backbone of the community. Like they're so important. Like they're the oil that keeps the machine well oiled. Like you need a strong, friendly front desk. I'm so with
Yeah,
you on that. I'm so with you.
yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
so I want to get into kind of more. I know we're talking about the business side of things, but I get a lot of listener questions of girls that are instructors that want to eventually own studios. So, what would you say is step number 1 if you want to own a studio? As Holland and I both know so well, when you teach spin classes, you get sweaty, you get dehydrated, and the best way to re up on your hydration and your electrolytes is to use Liquid IV, which is the #1 powered hydration brand in America. Liquid IV hydrates you with benefits like electrolytes, essential vitamins, and they are clinically tested nutrients. And it comes with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients in a single stick. And it's very clear why Liquid IV is the #1 powered hydration brand in America. It's super easy to use. I bring them with me to the studio all the time. All that you do is tear, pour, and enjoy a packet of Liquid IV during your spin class or afterwards. Pretty much all that you do, I bring them in my bag afterwards. You could also drink it during, but I typically tend to do it afterwards. I open it up, put it in water, shake it up, and it is so delicious, you guys. And you guys have to just trust me when I say this. It is wetter than normal water. Like, I know that sounds so crazy to say, but you have to trust me on it. It tastes so incredible, so amazing. I really, really love it. And what I love most is that it replenishes my electrolytes. One stick, 16 ounces of water. It's all you need because it hydrates you better than water alone. They have a liquid IV Hydroscience, which is their science-backed formula that's an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients to turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. They have 3 times the electrolytes of any leading sports drink. They have 8 vitamins and nutrients. It's non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and their sugar-free flavors are so good. My favorite is the white peach. It's delicious. I actually just stocked up at Costco the other day. The best. They also have a proprietary amino acid allulose blend, and it's Liquid IV's innovation to a hydration solution with 0 sugar and 0 artificial sweeteners. So we love to see that. So turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MANIFEST at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MANIFEST at liquidiv.com. Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first realized store stage, all the way to did I just hit a million orders stage, Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify has got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. When I first started selling the Manifest Planner, I had no idea what I wanted to use to sell the Manifest Planner, but I knew that I wanted something that was easy to use, very user-friendly, very client and customer facing side friendly, and something that looked really professional, and all the signs pointed towards Shopify, and I'm so glad that I went with Shopify. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/manifest, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/manifest now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/manifest.
Step number 1. Well, I would start small scale and say journaling, manifesting, writing down your goals. And instead of, writing down, I want to own a spin studio, go with I will. I will. Because most of the things that I have written down saying I will do this, I end up doing not because they just like come to me and happen, but when I'm writing down I will, I'm, giving myself the confidence and motivation to work towards that goal.
Yeah.
So believe that you can.
Yeah.
It might seem crazy. Like it seemed crazy to me, like my wildest dreams that I'd be owning a studio. That didn't seem real, but
Here you are.
anything can happen.
Yeah.
And then I would say looking for a team of people you want to have around you. And for me and my team, we needed an investor. So if that's something that, you don't think you'll be able to open the studio with just the funds that you have, looking for an investor that you can rely on, not just like going to anyone who, has money and is willing to invest, but like looking for someone that is solid in your community, that really believes in you, that you trust, that because we couldn't have done it without our investor, to be completely transparent. So, you may need that, you may not, but finding someone that you can trust.
Yeah.
For sure.
Same with us. We needed investors all the way. And this was back in 2017, 2018 that we were building out Stride. But I mean, when you're starting a new business, it's nearly impossible to get like a business loan from a bank. Like that just doesn't happen. So yeah, same. Investors, knowing the right people in your corner, I think that's a great start. And you also mentioned a business plan.
Yes. Writing down that business plan. I mean, you're going to have to write down all your financial predictions and all of that stuff. Like, you want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure you know what you're getting into because it's no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're probably not going to make money in the first couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it is. So you got to know what you're getting into and do your research and, you know what's going to be coming your way.
And have to add on to it, I also think to have a really strong why. Why are you opening this studio? Because like you
Mhm.
said, if it's to make money, well, like you're not gonna like get that for a little bit. Like
Mm-mm.
it's rare to bring home a salary or money when you're starting your own business. Like it takes time. Like the business eats first. Like
Yep.
the owners don't. They don't. And that's just the truth of the matter. Like you pay your staff, you pay your bills, you pay your investors all before you ever pay yourself. So if you're starting it to make money, find something else. But
Yeah.
you have to have
Mm-mm.
a strong why. And I love in your studio you have your mission on the wall. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have to have a really strong why. That's a great point. Even if you want to be an instructor, like,
Mhm.
you should have a why. Like, why are you doing this? Is it just to be on the podium, or do you have a reason behind, why you want to do this? And I think that's a huge thing in owning a studio as well.
Yeah,
Agree.
100%.
Yeah.
I want to get into knowing more about you because you're such a girly girl. You're so my kind of girl. You're sitting here in full glam. You probably taught
Yes.
today. Like, I just need all of the tips, and you're just so my kind of girl. Okay, so this season of life must be so chaotic for you. Like, I was following along the whole journey of your open house, your opening weekend. Like, when I tell you, I was obsessed. Like, I remember I woke up, you guys opened on April 20th, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up on I went to bed April 20th and you guys didn't update your stories. And I was like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow when I wake up. So it was Sunday. I woke up and I was like, how was their opening day? I was obsessed. And then I think you posted a few days later, like, this has been the craziest week of my life. I know exactly the feeling that you're talking about. I relate to it so much. So I have to know, what are you doing to unwind, to not have your cortisol just be absolutely through the roof? Like, how are you calming down?
To be completely honest with you, the first couple weeks, I do not think I could calm down at all. And I barely had a chance to do anything for myself. And I feel like that is just the reality of opening a business. And people need to know that. Like, I barely slept. I had such bad anxiety. I was at the studio for like 14 or 15 hours a day. When I would get home, I would be working on stuff on my computer. I was not updating social media. I was not doing anything. Like, if I had a second to shower, which I needed to shower because I was teaching multiple times a day, that was the only time I had for myself. And this was even before we opened, like a couple
Mm-hmm.
weeks before. We were just grinding,
Yep.
grinding, grinding at the studio. So, to be honest, I was not doing anything for myself. Um, up until probably like a week ago.
And
So,
that's so real. That's
yeah,
so
it's so
real.
real.
It's
Yeah.
so real. Like, that's the reality of it.
Yes. It's no joke. Like, I just want people to know what they're getting into because it is no joke. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. I know the feeling that you're talking about. Like, I'm there 14 hours a day. Like, I just remember there was another studio that was on my commute home when Stride was being built. And I was like, and the parking lot would be empty. I'm like, how do they ever leave? Like, I never want to leave. Like, when the studio opens, I can't imagine leaving it. Like, how do they just leave?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And
Yeah.
like, you do want to be there too, but
Yeah.
you're like
Yeah.
cashed out
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So right now I have 1 day off a week, and
From
that is
teaching?
from teaching, from being at the front desk, everything. And that day is Wednesday, so today.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. Thank God. Thank God. And so I have just been, taking slow mornings, journaling. I have like a huge ritual with making my own coffee at home. I have an espresso machine, and I just love the ritual of making myself coffee at home
What's the
and making
ritual?
myself. So I have a Breville espresso machine. So
Mhm.
it's one of the ones where you like tamp the coffee and, get the shot. So I do that. I have been using almond milk and maple syrup and cinnamon, and that is like my go-to right now.
Yum.
So
Sounds
yeah,
so good.
very simple, but I just love doing that at home. Um, Getting myself back into journaling, sitting down with my dogs on the couch, just like taking a second for myself, not scrolling, and, you know, just getting my mind right for the day.
Good for you. And do you
Yeah.
find it hard to not think about NYX and the business and check your phone and stuff like that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure. I am always nervous to put my phone on do not disturb lately because when I do, I truly have so many messages about the
Mhm.
studio that I have to go catch up on. So it's hard. It's been getting, a little bit better, but it's still hard
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a lot. And I know I keep being annoying, like, I remember it, but like I really do. And like I'm right back in there in that mindset. And I can tell you, like, it goes away. Like it becomes a well-oiled machine and it begins to go on cruise control and like you'll get your life back. The first year is a lot, like it's full on for the first
Yeah.
year and it's a lot. So hearing that you're journaling, you have your coffee rituals, even if it only takes 5 minutes and like that's what's grounding to you, so be it.
Yeah,
So be it. And I love that you
for
have
sure.
Wednesdays off. Now, when you have Wednesdays off, do Kristen and Damar, do they also have off or are they on Wednesdays?
They're on. So we all have to have
That's
different
nice.
days off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really, really nice.
It is.
Good
Yeah.
for you.
It's really good. So I think Kristen's day off is Sunday and Jamar's day off is Monday.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yep. It's
So,
good.
talk to me about your routines. You're such a routine girl from what it sounds like, and I'm obsessed with that. So, let's start the night before. What time do you go to bed?
Oh God.
Yeah.
And so I'm like forgetting how my old life used to be because I have just been, staying up,
Yeah.
working all night. So I usually try to go to bed around 10. I have certain nights where, I'm doing all of my routines, like doing my self tanner, getting like doing little beauty routines. And some nights it's just like braid my hair straight to bed, you know.
Yeah.
So
What
I got
self-tan do
those
you
nights.
use?
I have been using, I think it's Saint Tropez.
Okay.
It's, I think
Is
that's
it a
what it's called.
mousse?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like a blue bottle. So
If
yeah,
you guys are
I've been
watching
doing
this
that.
on video, then like you can see like she is glam, like girly girl, and she works out. Like we need the secrets. So what
Yeah.
what nights do you tan?
I usually will be doing that Sunday night and Wednesday night
Okay,
right now.
love.
Yeah,
Love.
because I try to like keep a decent schedule so that it starts to wear off. I'm like right back
It's right
on.
back on.
Yeah.
Before it wears off, do you fully exfoliate it or
Yes.
okay, you have
Yes.
to. You have
Yes.
to.
And sometimes I will get spray tans. I have a really awesome friend who lives down the road who will give me spray tans. They do come off a little bit quicker than doing the
Mm,
self tan myself, but they look
interesting.
so good. I don't know why, but they're
No,
great.
I agree. Saint Tropez is like glue. It just sticks.
Yes,
It
for
sticks.
sure. It does.
Um, do you so when you self-tan, the only reason I'm fixated on it is because how many classes a week do you teach?
8.
So many. Good for you. Good for
Mhm.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you actually do them, right? Like you don't just speak through them, you ride each one.
So I do. There have been a few times in the past couple weeks where so many people have shown up from the wait list that I haven't had a bike.
Yeah,
So
and you give up your bike.
yeah, I will
Yeah.
teach off the bike. Um, but most of the time I try to ride
That's a good problem to
decent.
have.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
it's
love
good.
that problem.
It's
We
great.
love that one.
Yeah.
So, the reason I ask is because you obviously sweat a lot throughout the week. and this one
Yeah.
stays on and it like lasts. What do you do to exfoliate? I know some brands have like a self-tan remover, or do you just like scrub really hard in the shower? Like, what does that look like?
I have a gosh, I wish I should have written down what my scrub is, but I use like a sugar scrub
Okay.
and I use a dry brush to exfoliate. But I am constantly moisturizing. So in the morning and at night, I'm moisturizing. That keeps my tan on so good. So drinking lots of water and moisturizing will help keep your tan on. If you're a fitness instructor and you're listening, like drink water, make sure you're moisturizing because it's tough. It's tough.
I believe anything you say. Like, you
Yeah.
look incredible. Like, I need
Thank
the
you.
tips. Like, you really
Thank
do.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So what does your wind down routine look like?
Um,
If
I
you
would
have one,
say,
like maybe you don't right
yeah,
now, and that's okay.
yeah, it's hard right now. I recently have been doing tea at night and like getting in bed after my shower, feeling clean, like doing my hair the night before or like blow drying it out, making sure I feel ready for the next morning
Mhm.
really helps me wind down because then I'm not like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be anxious in the morning because I have all these things to do. I'm going to do them tonight. So, laying out my clothes for the next day, packing my bag for the next day, doing my hair for the next day, and then I make myself tea. I get in bed and, winding down either reading or sometimes, watching a show, something like that in bed just helps me like really wind down and get things together. But making sure I'm ready for the next morning really puts me in a better state of mind.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So let's talk about the morning. What time do you normally wake up? And this might vary based on what times you teach.
Yeah. So I work the morning shift a lot, so I have to be at the studio around 5:30 in the
Wow.
morning.
Wow.
So I'm yeah. So I'm waking up at like 4:30.
Yeah.
Um
10 p.m. to 4:30.
yeah, and I probably should go to bed a little earlier.
Hey,
I
you know
take
what? We can't
naps.
do it all.
Yeah, can't do it all. It's tough. So sometimes I'm teaching classes at 6:15 at night, don't get home
Right.
until 8, and I still have to get ready for bed and the next day. So, trying to find that balance
And
for sure.
before you go on, are you a full-time fitness? Like this is the only thing that you do, full-time fitness?
Now I am.
Okay.
Now I
Okay.
am. Yep.
Before it wasn't. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
nap?
I do. I
Naps are
definitely
like
do.
crucial for full-time fitness professionals.
Yes. I have even found like a 15 to 30-minute nap helps me just power through even better than like a long 1 or 2 hour nap.
Yep.
Like quick little nap, up ready to go.
Yep. Love it. Okay. So
Yeah.
back to the morning. So your alarm goes off around like 4:30, you said?
Yeah.
Crazy. And then what do you
Yeah.
do?
And and then I will first of all, I hydrate in the morning, so I am drinking a bunch of water, getting my stuff together, putting it by the door, washing my face, brushing my teeth, putting on some skincare, my sunscreen, and then pretty much grabbing some food and putting in my bag because I'm not super hungry like right when I wake up.
Right.
I like can't eat right away, so I will get my food, put it in my bag, and then I'm heading out to the studio as quickly as I can.
Yep.
So, you know, you got to do what you got to do early in the
Yeah.
morning. So I don't have much time for a morning routine on the days that I do wake up early, and that's just how it is.
And you know what? It's very realistic. Like it's easy to sit and like listen to influencers all day, be like, "Oh yeah, I have a 3-hour morning routine." And like there's definitely been periods in my life where I was like that girl where I was like, "Oh yeah, I wake up and I read for an hour and blah 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 blah." But like
Hmm.
it's very realistic that it's just wake up and go.
Yeah. And then the thing is, I mean, I could have that super long morning routine in the morning, but I do want to get my sleep. But when
Yeah.
I come home from my shift in the midday, I do have that time to do things for myself and read and journal and do what I need to do. So after I work and I complete that part of my day, I can come home for a second and, take care of myself.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
What do you normally eat throughout the day?
Like exact foods I eat or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I feel like my favorite breakfast right now, I really like overnight oats.
And they're great for
I
on the go too.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm really into blueberries right now. So
Mm.
I always have blueberries with me recently. And then I'll usually do some sort of like salad or sandwich for lunch. If I'm super busy, I always have a protein bar with me at all times. I have to. I have a favorite protein bar. It's like a dark chocolate sea salt pretzel one. So good.
What's the
Obsessed
brand?
with
Do you
it.
know?
I can't remember. I should have written it
That's
down.
okay.
It's my favorite. I'll send it to you
Okay, yeah.
after. And then dinner, my husband and I recently have been into making, gluten-free pasta and salad. I have celiac,
Okay.
so I can't eat gluten. And so we've been doing a lot of pasta and salad. That's kind of like easy meal prep. Um, or there's this really good drive-through near our house called Salad and Go, and they have all these different options of salads, which is
Mm.
really great. So we've been doing that a lot. It really varies and depends. We're trying to get back into a schedule of cooking at home because during the opening we were eating out all the time,
Yep.
like constantly. So that's what we've been doing. We do like to make Thai food at home too. Like we like making red
Mm.
curry, we like making fried rice, we like making pad Thai. So we do that as well.
Does your husband spin?
He does, yeah,
Yay!
and he's really good.
Do you love that or hate that?
I love it because I feel like everyone in my classes um, loves seeing that he comes and spins.
Yep.
It's really cute. They love him, so it's
I
fun.
love that. I love that he
Yeah,
comes to your classes.
yeah.
Yeah. The only reason I asked do you love or hate it is because my boyfriend, whenever he takes class, he nails it. Like like he hits every single beat, he hits every single sprint, and I'm like, "Ugh, please,
Yeah.
uh,
Like, what?
please, come on, let me have something. Like you can't be
Right?
good at everything. It's
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so do you wear makeup when you teach classes?
I well, depends. I don't really wear face makeup, like anything foundation related. I do not wear when I'm teaching because it makes me break out.
Mhm.
So I typically don't wear any foundation, anything like that. I will do a little bit of Rare Beauty liquid blush. Have you heard of the Rare Beauty?
Yeah, I love when you
Yeah.
put blush on for a workout.
Yeah, I know. I love it. Like before and after, I'm like, ooh, I feel snatched and cute, ready to go.
Yep.
So sometimes I will wear blush. And then other than that, I'll usually just use gel on my eyebrows. And I have been wearing tubing mascara. Have you heard of tubing mascara?
Yes. Does it actually do what it says it does?
Yeah, it does.
That's
And it
wild.
it doesn't come off when you're working out. So usually, if anything, I will have a little bit of mascara, like waterproof or tubing on, and then my brow gel. Sometimes I'll have blush, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, gorge. And do you
Yeah.
have hair extensions or is that all your hair?
Yeah, I do have hair extensions.
Okay, so
Yeah.
after you teach, do you blow dry them? Do you wash your hair every time? What's your hair wash routine like?
I do wash my hair pretty much every time after I teach. I've just learned.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Um
Oh my God, I was not expecting that.
yeah.
You are dedicated.
Yeah. So whenever I get home, like it might not be instant because I have to stay and like take care of things, but
Right.
I usually do. I wash my hair a lot,
Whoa.
and yeah, it just works better for my hair. Otherwise, it just gets really knotted and greasy. So
More
I
power
wash.
to you.
Yep. And then right after class, usually I will take my hair out. I bring a brush with me everywhere. I'll brush it out and maybe put some dry shampoo in it, especially if I have to be at the studio for a couple more hours.
Yep.
Um, and that's pretty much it. Because a lot of times after class, I do not have a second to blow dry my hair,
Right.
unfortunately.
Right. Do
Yeah.
you do when you teach, is your hair normally in a ponytail or do you like a low bun? Do you do like a bubble braid?
I do low ponytails, low buns, low bubble braids, all the things. I just don't, I could have it high, but then my
You don't like flipping
extensions,
them, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Are
So
they hand
I've done
tied?
it. Yeah, there.
Have you ever tried tapes?
I have, but those I felt like really damaged my hair because it's the actual
Interesting.
glue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would only do hand tied, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I've had both and I found the hand tieds were just so much heavier and harder to flip over for like a high pony,
Hmm.
but looked so much better.
They look so good. I
Yeah.
only have one row, so I
Oh,
don't have
okay.
multiple rows. I felt like that would be too heavy, and my hair's pretty thick as it is, so I felt like I didn't need multiple rows.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, you have gorgeous hair.
thank you.
You're welcome. You also wear the cutest workout sets, and I know fashion is a really big part of NYX. So, one, how did that come to be for NYX? And two, where do you shop?
So I'll start with where I shop. My go-to is Lululemon. I I've tried many brands, and I feel like Lulu has been the brand that I go back to. It just holds up. It's good quality. The leggings don't like fall down while I'm teaching. I've had that
Hmm.
problem a lot, or like kind of like curling up.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're really comfortable too.
Which leggings do
So
you wear from Lulu?
I do the Wonder Train.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's my go-to. So I don't really like any other style other than Wonder Train. That's my
Hmm.
like number one.
Okay.
And then for my bras from Lulu, I do the Energy Longline bra. I think that's the most supportive and the style I like the look of the best.
Yeah.
So that's my go-to styles all the time. And then for fashion being a huge part of NYX, Kristen, my co-owner, is from New York City. And so fashion is a huge part of New York City. And so that's kind of what we wanted to bring to our brand because it's something that matters to me, Kristen, and DJ. Like we
Hmm.
all three you have always cared about fashion and like what we wear to the studio and what we wear when we teach. And it's just a big part of who all of us are. And we wanted to, bring that authentic part of us into our brand because we love fashion and we love, you know, putting together cute outfits. We love neutrals, all the things. So we wanted to bring that to our brand.
I love that. I think it's
Yeah.
so cool. And there's so much room for like growth in that too. To add on a whole, I'm sure you've already thought about this, but like to add on like a whole other element into the brand.
Hmm.
It's really smart.
Yeah. Thank
Really
you.
very smart. You're welcome. Do you have any pre-class ritual that you do to like pump you up before you teach or any like superstitions or anything like any tips or anything that you do?
I don't know if this is a pre class ritual, but I always make sure I have my playlist done before I get to the studio. I am not the type of person that can get there and be making my playlist 10 minutes before.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
like I have to have it done. I listen to it usually on the way to the studio in the car. So maybe just to get the vibes flowing, I just want to hear it. I want to like start thinking about what I'm going to be doing. I don't necessarily plan out the class, but I like to listen to my
Yeah.
playlist. And I mean, just like making sure I have time to go in the room, set up my laptop, make sure everything's working,
Mhm.
make sure I have the volumes I want. So I guess my rituals are just making sure everything's going to function
Yeah.
and testing everything out. So I'm not like 1 minute before class, like, oh, my mic's not working. Oh, the volume's too low, or this
Right.
is broken, or I can't clip in. So I usually am like checking everything. I wouldn't say I have any like superstitions or rituals. Do you?
No, not really. Um, no, I honestly don't. I used to always, and I want to talk about playlisting too. I used to always like have a little notebook with me, and then one day I forgot my notebook and I realized it in the middle of my first song, and I was like, oh. And then that ever since then I've just been like, I make it up on the fly of like what I'm gonna do. But no, I don't have any rituals. I did have an instructor that she was very like superstitious and she had to be in her room alone for a few minutes before the class. She always said like a meditation to her. Like she was very, and I loved it. So I've always been like asking, I'm just curious, like, do people do anything before? But no, I don't do anything special. I used to like
Yeah.
down to Celsius and then I started feeling so sick and nauseous from Celsius. So now I don't even do that.
No.
I do
Yeah,
nothing.
I feel
Yeah.
that.
Isn't it funny you open up a studio and you become like a sound engineer?
Y- yes. And it's kind of not fun
No,
at
it's
all.
not at all fun.
It's like really stressful.
Yeah, there's so many wires. There's so much technology. There's so much that could go wrong. Like,
Yes.
how has no one simplified this?
I don't know. And it's so touchy. Like, it's never just
Mm-hmm.
like a simple answer.
Never.
It's like 5 million things that could be
Yep.
happening.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. The worst is when I'm not at the studio and like this happened the other day. Like class started at 8 a.m. I was not at the studio and I get a FaceTime at 8:08. Hey, the sound's not working. I'm like, well, what were you doing for 8 minutes while class was supposed to be going on?
Ooh,
And what were you doing for the 30 minutes before class even began when you're supposed to get there? Like, what?
right.
Like, oh
That's,
my God.
yep, that's why you have to be there early. Like, if
Yes,
you are an instructor, you have to be there 30 minutes early.
you
There's so
have
many
to.
things you have to check, make sure everything's good. Like, I know some people can like rush into it. And I guess in that sense, I do have a routine of showing up early and making sure I'm ready to go because I don't
Yeah.
want to deal with, something going wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's, yeah, you become like the troubleshoot sound engineer queen. Like,
Hmm.
it's like added to your resume. It's crazy what we can do.
It's
I
crazy.
want to talk about playlisting. So, how do you find your music?
How do I find my music? I will say I'm constantly listening to like today's hits on Spotify.
Hmm.
Constantly. Like I'm always listening to new music. It's kind of bad because every time I hear a new song, I'm like, oh, would this work for spin instead of just
Totally.
enjoying the song?
Totally.
That's how your brain starts to function. And I really, really do like to play the original versions of songs as opposed to always using remixes because what I found, at least with my following, they love to like sing and know the full song and they
Hmm.
love to jam out to the original version. They love to hear songs that they know.
So fun.
And I don't think that's like everyone's following. Like, not everyone is super big on that, but for some reason, the people that I have coming to my class love like a sing along moment. They love to know the
Yeah.
songs.
It's so fun.
So, yeah. And you truly can make any type of music work for spin. I believe that if you are leading it with like confidence, if you're leading that song, even if it's not like your typical spin song, if you're leading it with confidence and you know what you're doing and your audience can tell you love the song, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, this is good. I like it.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I used to use a DJ kind of like music mixing subscription called DMS.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but you can
Mm-mm.
download DJ mixes and remixes from it. You do have to pay for it, but I think it was called, I can't remember what the full name was, but direct music subscription or something like that.
Okay.
And you can get DJ mixes from there. I use SoundCloud occasionally and download remixes from there for like sprints and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I use Spotify a lot.
Yeah. I love Spotify. And you're
Yeah.
you're a Swiftie.
I am.
Me too. What are your
Yay.
top three right now from TTPD?
Oh my gosh. Down Bad. I'm
Mm.
obsessed. I love Florida.
Mm,
and Who's Afraid of Little Old Me.
so good. The
What about
best.
you?
Right now I'm really having a moment with How Did It End?
Oh,
Kill me. Like it's so good.
yeah.
So probably How Did It End? Second would be The Bolter.
Oh,
Obsessed.
oh my God, me too.
I
So good.
love it. And
So good.
third is probably The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived.
Oh, that one's good too.
And then also a notable mention for Guilty as Sin.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I found a remix of Guilty as Sin, but the background is the like background music of Style.
Oh my God.
And it's so good. I played it in class and everyone freaked out. It was so fun.
Oh my God, I need that link. Like
Yeah.
that sounds insane.
I'm sending you so many links after
Please
this.
do. Please do.
Yeah.
So you mentioned also that you don't really plan out your choreo and stuff before class. Is that right?
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you just go into it with vibes. Like how do you choreo in the moment?
I guess I've learned what type of choreo works with what or with different types of songs. So if you're doing like a 75 BPM, which we call a side to side, that can be your chest presses, your triceps, your around the world. I don't know what kind of bikes you guys have. What kind of bikes do you
We have the same bikes. We use stages.
have? Okay. Yeah.
Which
So,
crazy. Have you heard all the drama going on with stages?
yeah, and I'm
How'd
kind of
you guys
freaked
get your
out.
bikes? No, same. How'd you get your bikes?
Our investor was able to find them and bought them used.
Okay.
So we were kind of like dead set on getting stages because we had reached out to stages and they were like, hey, we're bankrupt. We are not selling bikes.
Yep.
However, we are a little bit freaked out about getting parts, new
Same.
bikes. Like, is everyone freaking out about that?
Yes, everyone is freaking out. And the crazy thing was like I'm sure like we had bikes that we're leasing our bikes through stages, right? So
Okay.
they didn't even tell us. I had no idea that they went under until I'm not even kidding, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Are you
I
are you serious?
I had no idea, not a single clue. So our financing for the leasing is through a third party. And the guy that used to do all of our repairs, I emailed him like maybe a year ago and I was like, hey, can you come out and do a repair? And he was like, oh, I actually don't work for Sages anymore. And that's all he said. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, whatever, da da da. And then, like, I'm not kidding, a day later, this guy, Gary, who we use now, who's through a third party, was like, hey, I do Sages bikes repairs. Let me know if you need anything. I was like, oh, great, da da da, perfect. So he's just been doing it for the past year. And I had no idea until this guy, Zach, you probably follow him. He was like posting about it. And
Zach, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, this makes so much sense. So yeah, I had no idea. Um, I don't know what we're gonna do come October because we're supposed to get new bikes in October. That's part of like our leasing thing that we have with them. But so far we haven't run into an issue with parts, but our bikes, like, we definitely need new bikes.
Yeah, I don't think we need new bikes yet, but we will. Like
Yeah.
we were already having troubles with like the handlebars wobbling like couple weeks into classes and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, this is so scary," because
Yeah.
I think I found out I guess when we were trying to get our bikes, like maybe last August,
Hmm.
I reached out to my contact at Stages and no response,
Yep.
nothing. Nothing at all. I get a random email maybe like 2 months later saying, "Hey, we've been acquired by a different company. Like this is your new contact." But they actually hadn't been
No.
acquired by that company, Precor, I guess.
Yeah.
I, and Precor still has not signed a deal with them. They're
No.
still I don't know. It's
No, I
crazy.
don't know either. It is so crazy. What like your handlebars that are loose, do you guys have the knob or do you have the lever?
We have the lever.
Okay, I can show you what we do with our bikes in Sea Isle because I have a lever and I can show you like how we tighten them. It's so simple and it fixes the problem if it's what I think it is.
Okay, that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I'll send you a video. I'm down on Friday. I'll send you a video on Friday.
Amazing. Bless.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to little insider knowledge for the listeners. Yeah, there's
Random.
drama going on in the spin bike stages world. Anyway,
The best bike on the market,
it
by the
is the best
way.
bike. Yeah. I really do wonder what's going to happen. Like I feel like someone's going to come in and buy or someone's just going to make them under a different name.
Yeah, I hope.
But the parts is an issue.
Yeah.
It's an issue. Anyway, okay, back to your playlisting.
Okay, playlisting, like, do you want to know,
Oh yeah, your
like,
vibes. So you were saying like for your side to sides, you do like push-ups, triceps.
yeah, and then, we'll do around the world where you move across the handlebars, like tapping back. There are just certain movements, like too low with an X, those type of moves. I feel like that works good on our side to sides. And then jogs, I always know that you can do some sways with jogs, you can do some tap backs, you can do some body rolls. So I just know that there's like a category of moves in my head for each type of song.
Yep.
And I just know I can pull from that. And that, I think that comes with experience because I did used to kind of write down and rehearse what I was going to do on each song, but I've been teaching for almost 4 years now, and I feel like I have that kind of catalog in my head that I can pull from. I know which moves go with which, type of song, jog, run, hill, anything like that.
And do you teach to the vibe of the room?
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. For sure. If I can tell I have a lot of inexperienced riders, I am modifying my speed and I am modifying my choreo. If
Mhm.
that song, that comes up next was supposed to be a sprint and I can tell everyone is struggling, I'm going to change it to a hill.
Mhm. Yep.
Just, you really, really do have to read the room
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. And with teaching 8 classes a week, do you make a different playlist for every class?
I usually do.
Good for you.
Yeah, sometimes when I teach two on the same day, like one at 7 in the morning and then I teach again at 6, I will maybe use some of the same songs. But those are two very different vibes, like
Yeah.
7 in the morning and 6:15 at night.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll add like a few more hype songs to the night class, like swap a few out. I do have a few playlists on Spotify of like, this is a side to side, this is a jog, this is my run song. And so I can pull from them easily if I'm having like a moment where I'm lacking creativity and can't think of anything.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I do like to make a new playlist.
Speaking of lacking creativity, do you ever hit a music slump when you playlist?
Oh, yeah,
Sucks.
it sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks.
How do you get out of it?
I usually will look back at some of my way older playlists from
Mhm.
like a few years ago and go, hey, I'm just going to throw it back and use some older songs that I know are fire.
Yeah, and people love throwbacks.
Yes.
Even if it's like just a throwback to you 2, 3 years ago, people are like, "Oh, I remember this." And it kind of, brings them back to a spin journey of like, "I couldn't even do this, song a few years ago," or "I remember this class," or things like that. I love doing that.
Right. Me too.
Yeah, it's really fun.
And then sometimes I will just need a few days where I don't listen to any music at all because
Forge.
I will get so overwhelmed by all the music, all the sound, all the loud music. Like sometimes I just cannot listen to music, which is crazy because I'm a huge music person.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a slump, sometimes I need to not listen to music or I need to go through some playlists on Spotify that have brand new music so I can find something new that's exciting to me.
Yeah. I love that. Well,
Yeah.
Holland, this was such a treat. I know it's your day off, so I selfishly could talk to you for like 10 more hours, but I'm not going to do
Me
that to
too.
you on your day off because I want you to rest. Like you need it.
Yeah.
Wow, this was such a treat, and to have you as the very first guest on this new installment of Manifest with Tori and Holland has just been so incredible and so amazing. Where can everyone find you? Where can people follow NYX? Maybe take a class with you if they're local. Give us all the tea.
Yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram at holland.scattergood. That's my at. And then on Instagram for my studio, it's just at NYX Cycle. And that's how it should be on TikTok as well. So you can follow us there. You can look us up, nyxcycle.com. And you can find me on TikTok, Holland Scattergood as well. And that's pretty much it.
Wonderful. Holland, thank
Yeah.
you so much. This was such a joy.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so good to like finally meet you.
I know. I feel the same way. As Holland and I both know so well, when you teach spin classes, you get sweaty, you get dehydrated, and the best way to re-up on your hydration and your electrolytes is to use Liquid IV, which is the #1 powered hydration brand in America. Liquid IV hydrates you with benefits like electrolytes, essential vitamins, and they are clinically tested nutrients, and it comes with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients in a single stick, and it's very clear why Liquid IV is the #1 powered hydration brand in America. It's super easy to use. I bring them with me to the studio all the time. All that you do is tear, pour, and enjoy a packet of Liquid IV during your spin class or afterwards. Pretty much all that you do, I bring them in my bag afterwards. You could also drink it during, but I typically tend to do it afterwards. I open it up, put it in water, shake it up, and it is so delicious, you guys. And you guys have to just trust me when I say this. It is wetter than normal water. Like, I know that sounds so crazy to say, but you have to trust me on it. It tastes so incredible, so amazing. I really, really love it. And what I love most is that it replenishes my electrolytes. 1 stick, 16 ounces of water. It's all you need because it hydrates you better than water alone. They have a Liquid IV Hydroscience, which is their science-backed formula that's an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients to turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. They have 3 times the electrolytes of any leading sports drink. They have 8 vitamins and nutrients. It's non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and their sugar-free flavors are so good. My favorite is the white peach. It's delicious. I actually just stocked up at Costco the other day. The best. They also have a proprietary amino acid allulose blend, and it's Liquid IV's innovation to a hydration solution with 0 sugar and 0 artificial sweeteners. So we love to see that. So turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MANIFEST at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MANIFEST at liquidiv.com.